I'm Caitlin, I'm legally blind. I'm also the first-time mom to my little 4-month-old daughter. So I'm going to give you a list of things that have been really helpful being a visually impaired mom. Sorry, she's snoring. The first item is pretty controversial, but it's the doona. The reason why this has made my life easier as a visually impaired mom is because there's a lot of times where friends or family are picking my daughter and I up to go somewhere or do something, and the fact that this just collapses right down into a car seat, goes from a car seat to a stroller, is super helpful. I also know this isn't unique to the doona, but it's nice that we can put this in a car without the base. Second reason why this was a super helpful item for me and my husband actually is because we live in an apartment. If we had to carry the car seat up from our front door all the way to the elevator and then from the elevator all the way to my husband's truck or even to someone picking us up, it gets to be a lot of work. Granted, I would be really strong, but sometimes it's just overwhelming and it's really easy to just like push her in this, and it's really nice. Obviously, a con is it's very heavy. It's also pretty pricey. If you get this, you are gonna have to get something different because your baby will outgrow this, and they're also not supposed to be in this for super long extended periods of time. Second item is a baby monitor, but this one is nice because it's simple, it's really easy to use. I've learned being blind and being a mom is that the simpler, the better. This item right here is probably one of the main like visually impaired geared items I've had. This is really nice because I use this little food scale to measure my breast milk and to make her bottles for her. I have been doing the pitcher method and I've been exclusively pumping since she's been born. And what that means is basically I put all my milk from the day in a pitcher and then I'd portion out all of her bottles. And this is really nice because I can portion them out on my own. I don't have to wait for my husband to do it. And it's just been really helpful. Depending on where your level of vision is at, you may already have a talking scale. This one doesn't talk, but the numbers are big enough that I can see it. So this, again, has been very helpful. This is a little egg nightlight, and it's just a little tap one. Again, if you are low vision, this is nice because you don't have to turn on like all the lights if you're doing middle of the night diaper changes. But for me, like if it's dark, like I really can't see, but if there's a little bit of light, my eyes will adjust and I eventually can see a little bit. So this was super nice because I didn't have to turn on like all the lights in her room if I was changing her in the middle of the night. We don't use this as much anymore, but this was really helpful for the first 2 months. And I mean, she was in the NICU, but if you have like a normal delivery and your baby's in the room with you in the hospital, this is also, I've heard, really nice for feedings and changes and stuff in the hospital because you, again, don't have to turn on the overhead lights. Again, the simpler, the better. It has been my motto through motherhood so far. This is the bottle warmer we used. It's the Mom Cozy one. I have a lot of stuff from Mom Cozy, but this I got recommended to me from one of my friends. And what I like about this is that you basically there's a bunch of different settings. My husband set it up and I just put the bottle in there, hit go, and there's just like one button. I don't have to worry about anything, and it'll beep when it's ready. And then after another hour, it'll beep because it will keep the bottle warm for an hour, which I really like because this little girl, she's hungry, she is hungry. And sometimes having the bottle ready ahead of time is really nice. I've never used another bottle warmer, but I do know that there's one that like when it fully lights up, that's when it's ready. That doesn't really work when you're visually impaired because you have to like see that it's all lit up. Whereas for this one, it just beeps when it's ready, which is really nice. Those are just some of the items I've used. If you are also a mom and are legally blind and you have found different items that have been helpful for you, please let me know because obviously I'm always looking for items and ways to make motherhood easier in general, but especially as a mom who's legally blind and disabled.